Americans represent public school districts in the state of Nebraska. So go Mustangs, right? Go Huskies. Now, I am sure you are all more than happy to be out of school on a Tuesday afternoon, yes? Yes? But you're probably asking yourself, why did they take an attorney from Lincoln, have her drive to Sutton to talk to kids from Heartland, from McCool, from Sutton, about digital citizenship? Why a lawyer, somebody like me, because of something stupid that you did? Okay, so that's the deal. So, before we go too much further, I want to know what you know. So raise your hand if you have a cell phone. Okay, and if you did not get to put your hand up, you can go home and tell your parents they are the meanest people in the world. Yes? Okay, hands down. Even if you don't have a cell phone, raise your hand if you use any kind of text messaging, texting on a phone, messaging on a game, on Minecraft, on on your iPod, anything. Very good. Okay. Hands down. Raise your hand if you've ever taken a picture with an iPad or a phone. Look how smart you are. Very, very good. Hands down. Raise your hand if you've ever hit forward on a text, retweet on Twitter, share on Facebook, reblog on Tumblr, anything like that. Taking a screenshot, Snapchat. Okay, very good. All right, hands down. Raise your hand if you have Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. What am I forgetting? Pinterest? Kick? Yeah? Minecraft? Okay. All right, so you guys know a lot about this stuff, yes? You know more about it than your grandmas and grandpas? Yes. More about it than your moms and dads? How about more about it than your teachers? Yes? Okay. All right. Since you know so much, someone put up your hands. People tell me, give me some things. What's wrong with cell phones? What are things that are wrong with cell phones? Yes, ma'am, in the back. Yes. Yeah, you.
Oh. Cell phones, there's not a big variety of stuff, but I guess you could say it's better than a computer, but it's not better than that.
It's limited as it compared to a computer or an iPad. Yes. Yes, sir. You. You can't unsend a text message, or maybe a text that you shouldn't have sent. You can't get it back. Yes. People can hack into them and post mean stuff about you or about other people. Yes, sir.
They're too small, I can't type it.
Too small, you can't type anything. Yes, sir.
They rot your brain.
They rot your brain. One more. Yes.
Can't tell if you're trying to be friendly or mean.
Can't tell if you're trying to be friendly or mean. There's no context. Guess what? Those are all awesome answers, great answers, and they're all completely wrong. What? What's wrong? Now wait, those of you that have cell phones, before you put up your hand, did you quick look to see if the teacher was looking so you wouldn't get in trouble for having a cell phone? Is there anything wrong with cell phones? No, those of you that have cell phones, is your cell phone right now sending a text to someone that you're going to want to take back? Who sends the text? You do. We do, that's right. There's nothing wrong with cell phones, they're just a tool. But they have to be used appropriately and with good judgment. It's the people that do the dumb stuff, not the cell phones, yes? All right, with that in mind, what's wrong with social media? Anybody? Yes? People can post things that hurt other people's feelings. Yes. Yes, sir. You were going to say that? In the middle, yeah. You. Cyberbullying. Very good. Was that what you were going to say? That's exactly right. Those are all awesome answers. But again, social media is just like a cell phone. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's just like a cell phone. You have to use it appropriately and with good judgment. Cyberbullying, posting mean things, those are all things that who does? People. That's right. That's right. So, where do I see kids in Nebraska getting into trouble with technology? I really see three things happening over and over and over again. First, cyberbullying, just exactly like somebody said. Secondly, I see kids sending inappropriate pictures or sexting. I know that'll be super awkward, but we'll get through that together, I promise. And thirdly, I see kids ignoring basic internet safety. So those are the three things I want to visit with you about this afternoon. Okay? Okay? Alrighty, awesome. First thing I want to talk about is cyberbullying. Put up your hand if you've heard of cyberbullying. Gotta put your hands up, your teachers will cry. Leave up your hand if you're getting kind of tired of hearing about it. Fair enough, I know you get this a lot. Let me talk to you about cyberbullying the way lawyers talk about it. And lawyers are different in how they talk about it than moms and dads and teachers. First thing lawyers do is define their terms. Lawyers love vocabulary words. If you like vocabulary words, you could be a great lawyer. So, here's the definition of cyberbullying the way lawyers talk about it. Using technology, like computers and cell phones, to engage in repeated and hostile behavior, either by an individual or by a group that's intended to harm others. Couple of things about this definition I want to pull out for you. First is this idea that it has to be repeated. If I say to, what's your name, honey? You. Collie? Nice headband, Collie. Okay? If I say something like that to Collie, that's not nice, right? It's not the kind of thing I should do. But it's not bullying, and if I text it to Collie, it's not cyberbullying. Why not? It's not repeated, right? If I do it one time, it's not bullying or cyberbullying, it's just not being nice, right? But if I say, Collie, nice headband, that's a choice you're making with your life, okay, right? And then today after school, I say, I cannot believe Collie's still wearing the headband. Oh, hi, Collie, right? And then tonight after supper, I text Collie, did you finally take off that ugly headband? Because, sweetheart, you look stupid, right? Now, have I cyberbullied Collie? Yeah, because it's repeated. I've done it more than once. Sometimes moms and dads think the first time I say something to Collie, I'm being a bully. I'm not being a nice person, but it's not bullying unless I do it more than once, okay? Now, here's the thing. Kids your age, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, one of the biggest things I see about you guys is that you forget and do things repeatedly that you think are funny that other people don't, right? And you know this about yourself. Let me show you. How many of you have been in the car and you made that noise with your armpit? Or you're doing the ding-ding, right? And now we're all going to do it. How many of you have had that happen and you do it over and over and over again, and finally your mom or your dad, whoever's driving, says, knock that off or I'm going to pull this car over and give you a smack? How many of you have had that happen? Oh my gosh, it happened this morning. Oh, yeah. You know this about yourselves. You think things are funny for way longer than other people do, yes? So if I'm teasing Collie about her headband, what if I say, oh no, I was teasing Collie about her headband because it was funny? Do I get to say that it's okay for me to tease Collie about her headband as long as I think it's funny? No, the minute Collie says, hey Carrie, knock it off, or the minute I say something hostile, then boom, even if I'm still doing it over and over because I think it's funny, I've become a bully or a cyberbully without even realizing it. Now, the other thing about this definition, another thing that I want you to see is that it has to be hostile and intended to harm. Lots of times after I'm in a school, somebody will be walking along, what's your name? Be like, hey Joe, how you doing? And Joe will go, bully! Oh, did you see? She kicked me. Was that hostile to Joe? No. Is that intended to harm? No. What if Joe's mom thinks that I meant it to be hostile? I can get in trouble, but am I a bully? No, because Joe and I know it wasn't hostile and intended to harm. It has to be hostile and intended to harm. The third thing about this definition that I want you to see is that it can be either by an individual or by a group. Now I've picked on Sutton. Callie, are you from Sutton?
Yeah.
So I need somebody, I need a group, just a line of people from Heartland. I'll pick on Heartland next. What's your name, honey? Allison. All right. I'm going to show you what it means that it can be by an individual or by a group. This is a case that I actually worked on in school in Nebraska, and I'm going to make Allison my example, okay? Now, do you guys do destination imagination? Any of you? You know what that is? Okay. Destination imagination is like a team, the school, like the kids in the school, like make up a play, and then you go to another school and there's a contest and you do the play for other people, okay? So, Allison, you're on the destination imagination team for Heartland, okay? We've been at a contest. We stop at Dairy Queen on the way home, and you get an ice cream cone. So eat an ice cream cone for me, Allison. Awesome. Look at her go. She's awesome. Next to Allison is her friend, Court. Court bumps into Allison while she's eating her ice cream cone, so bump into her, Court. Allison gets ice cream all over her face. Court thinks that's funny, so he takes out his phone, takes a picture of Allison, puts it on Instagram, right? And he says something like, Bay can't eat ice cream, #LOL. Now, has Allison been cyberbullied? Let's think like lawyers, look at the definition. How many of you, what do you think? Yes?
I don't.
What?
Yes.
You, yes, you.
She has not been cyberbullied because it's only happened once.
She's not been cyberbullied because it's only happened once. That element of being repeated is missing. I think something else is missing for it to be cyberbullying. What else do you think is missing? Yes, ma'am? Right, is this hostile or intended to harm? I mean, we don't know about Court and Allison, who knows, right? But how many of you have taken a dumb picture of a friend of yours and put it on Snapchat or Instagram? Is that always hostile? Sometimes it's just funny, right? Alrighty. So I think you're right. I don't, Court. Shoot, so far so good, buddy. I don't think you've cyberbullied Allison, right? Now, the next thing that happened in this case was Court's friend, Wyatt. Wyatt writes on Court's Instagram under Allison's picture, Allison is such a loser, not surprised she can't eat ice cream. And Wyatt's friend, Aiden says, you're right, Allison is a #loser. Okay? Now, has Allison been cyberbullied?
Yes.
Yes, now it's repeated, right? It's hostile, saying nobody likes her and she's a loser. Those are clearly hostile and intended to harm, right? Who can get in trouble for this cyberbullying? Can Wyatt get in trouble? What's Wyatt's argument that he can't get in trouble? Somebody? Anybody? Somebody that hasn't talked yet. Yes? Court started it? Do you think that's going to get Wyatt out of trouble and he can say Court started it? No, it's never a good defense to say my friends are stupid and I did stupid things my friends did. That's never a good defense. Good try, and we're going to talk about Court in a second. I don't know that that's Wyatt's argument. How does Wyatt try to get out of trouble here? Yes? Yes?
Oh.
He said, no, let's say he admits he posted it. He knows. He posted the comment. No doubt. What else? What can a lawyer say? Yes? He could say it was meant to be a joke, but if he says nobody likes her and she's a loser, that gets harder and harder for it to be taken as a joke. What else? He didn't repeat it more than once, right? That's in the case that I had, that's what Wyatt's mom and dad said. They said, you know what, Wyatt, we'll deal with Wyatt. He's in trouble at home. But you as a school, you can't punish him for being a bully or a cyberbully because Wyatt only posted one thing, right? Now, as a school lawyer, what's my argument back against that? Somebody that hasn't talked yet. Yes? You've already talked to somebody that hasn't talked yet. Have you talked to one else, man? Okay, go. That's right. It's been repeated more than once throughout the group, right? Wyatt and, not Austin, Aiden. Wyatt and Aiden both said mean things, and this is the way it works for lawyers. I can count against Wyatt what Aiden wrote, and I can count against Aiden what Wyatt wrote. So it's as if both of them wrote both mean things, right? So Wyatt and Aiden Kane both got 1 day of out-of-school suspension for writing a mean thing about Allison while they were on a school trip, right? Next question. What about Cole? Can Cole get in trouble now? Cole? Court, sorry. What about Court? I was like, what is all this talk? Cord. Thank you. What about Cord? Can he get in trouble? Now, he did not intend it to be mean, right? But now let's say Allison is home in her basement crying. Cry for me, Allison. Because she's so sad about this picture. Who's the only person that can take that picture down right now? Right. By leaving it up, what does Court say? He doesn't care, or he agrees with it, right? So here's and that's what happened in this case. We also sent Court home for a day of out-of-school suspension, right? So here's what this means for you guys. If you post something on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, whatever, and other people make mean comments, you either have to take your post down, or on Instagram now, you know, you can delete other people's comments. You can do that too. But you can't just leave it up and go, no, I didn't do it, I can't get in trouble for it. Because that's just not the way it works. Because it can be by an individual or by a group. See how that works? Sometimes I have kids say to me, Karen, why do we have to hear about cyberbullying all the time? We're so sick of it. Here's why. This is a survey that was done by Drexel University in the summer of 2014, so 2 years ago. They asked kids in middle school, just your age, how many of you personally have been cyberbullied already? And 32% of the kids said, yeah, that's happened to me. I want you to count down your row to 10 kids. Look down your row and count to 10. 3 of the kids you just counted have already been cyberbullied. When I'm in a school, all the time I'll have somebody come up to me and say, Karen, don't tell anybody, but this is happening to me, right? If this is you, I don't want you to think this is some horrible, embarrassing secret that no one should ever know about. It happens, right? Your best option is to tell an adult, and we can try to help you out. Now, sometimes I have kids say to me, I'm not going to tell an adult because, what's your name? If Peyton's mean, as a grown-up, do I have a bag of nice that I can throw on Peyton and make her nice? No, I wish, right? No, if Peyton's mean, Peyton's mean. But if Peyton's being mean to you, you need to tell an adult so that we can talk to Peyton and we can talk to you. The other thing about their survey that I think is interesting is, look at this. They asked kids, how many of you have witnessed somebody else get cyberbullied? Over 90%, 9 of the kids you just counted would have said in this survey, yeah, I've seen it happen to somebody else. But only 11% of them said they did anything about it. The next time you see somebody taken off after Allison on Instagram or Peyton doing something mean, I want you to say, dude, knock it off, right? Allison's my friend. And if every kid that saw other kids getting cyberbullied said something about it, we would not have nearly the problems that we have. Lots of times I talk to moms and dads, and sometimes when I talk to parents, it's usually a dad that puts up his hand and he says, you know what, Karen? There are jerks in the world. We can't protect our kids from every jerk out there. Maybe what we should do is we should just tell Allison not to be such a baby, right? If she would just husk her up, we wouldn't have these problems. How many of you have heard that or even thought something like that yourself? Fair enough. I know that there are lots of folks that think that, and I don't even think you're necessarily wrong. But I do want you to know that that is not the way that schools are allowed to deal with bullying and cyberbullying. It's not the way judges and lawyers deal with it. And it's not the way the police deal with it. First off, schools. Every school in the state of Nebraska is required by this law to have an anti-bullying policy. In the state law that says every school has to have a policy, they say bullying at school is an ongoing pattern of physical, verbal, or electronic abuse. I need a new bullying victim. Somebody from McCool, put up your hand. What's your name, bud? Patrick? Okay, I'm going to bully Patrick. Every day when I see Patrick, I'm going to shove it. Ready, Patrick? Ooh, that was good. One more. If I do that to Patrick every day at school, am I bullying him? Can I get in trouble at school for that? Yeah, no doubt, right? What if instead of shoving Patrick, instead every day I say mean things to him? Hey, Patrick, I wish I could shove you. Burn! Right? Everybody wants to shove you, Patrick, and I am one of everybody. Roasted. Right? If I say stuff like that to Patrick every day, am I bullying him?
Yes.
Can I get in trouble at school for that?
Yes.
Now, let's say instead of shoving Patrick or talking to Patrick, every morning I wake up and I grab my cell phone. Good morning, Patrick. Wish I could shove you. Text, right? Retweet if you agree. At Patrick should be shoved. Tweet. Retweet, retweet, favorite, right? Picture of somebody shoving someone else. Wish this was me and Patrick. Hashtag who's with me. Post on Instagram. If I do all that stuff to Patrick, am I bullying him?
Yes.
If I get caught doing that by the school, can I get in trouble at school?
Yes.
Yeah, in some states the answer is no, right? It depends on how your state law defines bullying at school. But in Nebraska, we define bullying as physical, verbal, or electronic abuse. So it doesn't matter whether I shove Patrick, say mean things to Patrick, or tweet mean things about Patrick. If I get caught doing that at school, I can get in trouble. Okay? What kind of things happen to kids who get caught by schools doing this in Nebraska? Easiest thing for me as a school attorney, take away everything that makes school fun, right? So no band, no choir, you can't go to the volleyball game tonight, can't go to the football game, all that kind of stuff, right? Easy for me as a lawyer to do. No big surprise that you can get a detention or an in-school suspension for this, right? Short-term suspension is we kick you out of school for up to 5 days. Long-term suspension, we kick you out of school for up to 19 days. What does your math grade look like after 19 days out? Yeah. Expulsion in Nebraska is if we catch you doing something like this and it's bad enough, we kick you out for the rest of the semester. So if you got caught now, you'd be out until after Christmas. This is one that we use quite a bit in bullying and cyberbullying cases, and people are still surprised by it. And this is the idea of an alternative school assignment. So here's how this works. If you can't be nice to the kids in Sutton, we won't let you be a Mustang or a Philly anymore. We'll make you go to York. Ew. Sandy Creek. Ew. And if we send you to Sandy, you never get to come back and be a Husky or a Mustang again. You're stuck graduating as a Cougar. Ew. 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 Cyberbully can get in trouble at school. The second thing that happen to kids who bully and cyberbully is they get sued. Have any of you ever heard somebody say, I'm going to sue you for $1 million, right? That's what this is. This is a civil lawsuit. In these cases, what happens is the person that you're mean to sues you and your mom and dad. Now, nobody's going to jail in these cases. This is all about having to pay money to the person you were mean to. If your mom and dad own a house, a farm, a business, any kind of stuff, there's an insurance company. Your mom and dad pay money to an insurance company to help keep track of that stuff. The insurance company will pay for the lawyers if you get sued, but they won't pay for the money that you have to pay to the person you bullied, which means that your mom and dad could have to sell the farm or the house or the car. How is your mom going to react if she has to sell her house because of something mean you put on Facebook? Morales is a case that's going on in the state of Nevada right now. Now, to understand this case, you got to know a couple of things. First off, everybody in this room has brown skin, yes? Some people have really light brown skin, some people have really dark brown skin, but we're all different shades of brown, yes? The Morales family was originally from the country of Mexico, so they had kind of medium brown skin. And the kids in Rachel Morales' class were really mean to her. Yeah, I know, I hear that too. Were really mean to her about the fact that she had medium brown skin. Put up your hand. They put their hand, like put it next to mine. They put their hands next to hers and say, look how dirty your skin is. Go wash your hands. Stuff like that. They said mean things to her. They put on Facebook and Twitter that she was Dora the Explorer and an Oompa Loompa. It's sort of funny until Rachel says it's not funny, and then that's like that armpit noise, right? It starts out funny, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's not funny anymore. They went to her house, put forks into the yard, so that when her dad mowed the lawn, he ran over those forks with his lawnmower. They also poured chocolate syrup and olive oil all over the front steps of her house, so that when she stepped out of the house, they stepped in all this stuff. How would your mom and dad react if people did this kind of stuff to you? Superman, yes? The Morales family didn't load their guns or get out their fists. Instead, they sued the 5 girls that had done this mean stuff. They filed a civil lawsuit. The parents of the bullies, when they got sued, they said, oh my gosh, we are so sorry. We had no idea our kids were doing this stuff. We want to settle. We want to pay you money so that you stop suing us. And the Morales family's like, yeah, that'll be just fine. We want $10,000 for every incident of bullying and cyberbullying. Here's what they're fighting about now. If I tweet that you're an Oompa Loompa, and you retweet it, and you retweet it, and you retweet it, do I owe $10,000 or do I owe $40,000? If you say 40, that's what the Morales family is saying. These families are going to owe almost $300,000. If you say $10,000, which is what the Cutler family is saying, they're still going to owe almost $100,000. Either way, it's a ton of money. And they're fighting about whether it's 100 or 300. So, you can get in trouble at school. Your mom and dad can get sued and have to pay a whole bunch of money. The third thing that I see happening to kids who bully and cyberbully is they get in trouble with the police. This is the state law that makes it against the law to commit what's called a terroristic threat. And a terroristic threat is when you threaten to hurt someone, either intending to scare them or disregarding the chance that you could scare them. I want to show you how this works in real life. I need the biggest, what school's turn is it? Sutton? I need the biggest 8th grade boy that Sutton's got. Biggest, meanest 8th grade boy. Are you guys happy? All right. Now assume that Corey's really mad. We're not just messing around, right? If Corey and I get into a fist fight, who's going to win? Corey. I'm an old lady, right? He's going to kill me. Please don't hurt me, right? Are you physically afraid of me, like that I'm going to hurt you? No, look at her laugh. No. Right? Okay. So, let's say tonight, I think I'm going to be funny. So I send Corey a text. Dude, tomorrow in school, I'm going to kick your butt. Text, right? If you get that text from me, are you afraid? No. No. Do I really think I'm going to scare Corey? Do I have any illusion that he's afraid of me? No. Have I committed a terroristic threat? Let's think like lawyers. Have I threatened to commit a crime of violence? Yes. Butt kicking is a crime of violence, yes. Did I intend to terrorize Corey?
Yes.
Did I really think he was going to believe me? No. Probably not. It's close, but probably not. Did I actually terrify Corey? No. No. Have I phone on the table before he goes up to bed. And Mom says, Corey, how can I nag you in a bunch of text messages if I don't have you if your phone is in charge, right? So Mom takes Corey's phone, plugs it in, and when she does, my message to Corey lights up on the screen. And Mom says, oh, Corey worries. Who's being mean to my little poor? Now notice, I still did not intend to scare Corey. I did not actually scare Corey. But if I scare Corey's mom and she calls the police, I can be charged with making a terrorist threat. Okay? All right. Thank you, Corey. Woohoo! Is that going to go again like in 3 minutes? Yeah. And you'll warn me before it goes? Maybe. Look at this. It's actually a felony. If Corey's mom calls the police, I can get up to 5 years in prison. I don't see kids going to prison. I see lots of kids getting probation. And probation is kind of like being grounded, but instead of your mom and dad being in charge of you, the police are in charge of you. And I have seen kids have to pay money, depending on how scared Corey's mom is. That's how it happens with boys. With girls, this is how it happens. She's dating him. He's too good for her. One of these days, someone's going to teach her a lesson. Which is super funny until her grandma sees it on Instagram, right? Grandma calls the police. There has been a 200% increase in terroristic threats charges against kids in Nebraska in the last 10 years. And it's all this kind of stuff. The police are sick of getting phone calls. They're just charging it. Okay, so we talked about bullying and cyberbullying. Second thing I want to talk about is sexting. I know. This is the point. This is the point at which somebody puts up their hand and goes, you know what, Karen, I'm in 6th grade, I'm 11, I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'll come back when this is over because this sounds super awkward, right? 6th grade is not too young for you to know that if someone's spending the night at your house and they're changing into their jammies and you take their picture because you think it would be funny, those are the kind of things that aren't jokes. Those are the kind of things that kids get into all kind of trouble for. 7th grade is not too young for you to know that if your friend is using the bathroom and you put your phone under the stall and take a picture because you think it'd be a funny photo bomb, moms and dads don't think that's funny. Kids get in all kind of trouble for that. 8th grade is not too young for you to know that even if he's super nice, and even if he says he'll never show the picture to anyone else, and even if he keeps asking and asking and asking, you should never send a picture to a guy that you wouldn't show your grandma. And these are things that I've seen kids your age in Nebraska do and get in trouble for, and that's why I talk to kids your age about these issues. Most kids realize that it's a really bad idea to send these kind of pictures, but what they don't realize is that it's also against the law. So, here's the legal definition of sexting, a combination of the words sex and texting, that's why it sounds so funny. It's the act of sending inappropriate messages. You were going to warn me? Thanks so much, right? It's the act of sending inappropriate pictures or inappropriate messages on your cell phone. Sometimes kids think it's only pictures, and when you hear these stories, it's usually about pictures. Just so you know, it's also against the law for kids to send inappropriate words back and forth in a text message. And so always following the grandma rule and not sending stuff that you wouldn't send your grandma is the best way to avoid these kind of problems. So here is the Nebraska law. It's actually against the law for a kid to take a picture of himself if he doesn't have his clothes on. You can get in trouble for that. The felony, up to 5 years in prison. Again, I don't see kids going to prison. I do see kids getting put on probation, which is when the police are in charge of you. I also see kids not being able to live with their moms and dads anymore, being sent to foster care and stuff like that. Up to a $10,000 fine. I have seen kids your age have to pay money. But this is the really big consequence. In Nebraska, we keep a list of all the creepers in the entire state. If you get caught sexting, they put your name on the creeper list, and they leave it on there with all the other creepers for the rest of your life. Let me show you this case to show you how it works. This is a Nebraska case. This is a girl from a school in Nebraska. Her name's Katrina. At her school, every kid got a laptop. Are any of you guys one to one? Yes, so just like some of you, every kid, I don't know if you have iPads or laptops or whatever. In this school, every kid got a Chromebook. And so she had a Chromebook and she had a boyfriend. And boyfriend had a Chromebook. She took an inappropriate picture of herself and texted it to her boyfriend. Boyfriend saved it to the hard drive of his school-issued laptop. Too stupid to have a girlfriend, yes? Yes. Now, if your school has, if you got laptops with hard drives or if you use the Google Drive, if you save anything to any kind of school technology, who's going to find it? Teacher, the school, that's right. And when a teacher finds something like this, what does a teacher have to do? They take your device. Who do they report it to? The principal or the superintendent. Very good. And then who does the principal or the superintendent, what do they do? You assume that we're going to call your parents, and we are. Do you know who else the school has to call? The police, that's right. This is considered, even if you're taking a picture of yourself, it's considered child abuse or neglect. It's just as if your mom and dad were hurting you, right? Schools have to call and report it. Now, when the school called me about this picture of Katrina, they really did not want to call the police. They did not want her to be on the creeper list. She'd never been in trouble before. They thought that was way too harsh. So instead of calling the police, they called the Department of Health and Human Services. Those are the people that the school calls if your mom and dad can't take care of you or if someone has hurt you. So they called. Look what happened. She sent one picture. She was adjudicated to be a child who deports herself so as to injure or endanger seriously the morals or health of herself or others. She was made a state ward. That's what that first bullet point means. Placed in the legal custody of the Department of Health and Human Services. What does that mean? That means her mom and dad don't get to decide where she goes to school, if she goes to the doctor. When she wants to go visit her grandma in Colorado, she has to call someone in Lincoln and get their permission before she can leave the state. She was given 6 months probation. Again, probation is very similar to being grounded, but the police are in charge of you. She had to go to counseling. They made her pick up trash along the highway for 40 hours. Now, her mom and dad thought this was too harsh, right? Mom and dad thought this was way too mean for only sending one picture. They were especially upset about this part. Wouldn't your mom and dad be most upset about that, having to be a state ward? So they appealed. What that means is if a judge does something that you don't like, you can go to Lincoln and have some other judges look at what the judge did and say, hey, look, this guy was wrong. Fix it, right? So that's what they did. They appealed to Nebraska, the Nebraska Supreme Court, and said, this was wrong. Fix this. You know what the judges in Lincoln said? Not only do we not think this is too harsh, we want to know, why wasn't Katrina put on the creeper list? So when I tell you that judges and lawyers really freak out about this stuff, they don't think it's funny, I'm talking about cases like Katrina, where judges have told us, yeah, we think kids that do this kind of stuff should get in a whole bunch of trouble, and that they should be put on the creeper list. Okay? Okay, so we talked about bullying and cyberbullying. We talked about sexting. I told you we'd make it through. That wasn't so bad, was it? Pretty awkward? Yeah, okay. Third thing I want to talk about is basic internet safety. And really, this whole part of the presentation can be summarized by this cartoon. On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog. Kind of like Dog with a Blog, right? Kind of. I want to tell you, it's a TV show. I want to tell you, I have kids all the time say to me, hey, say, you know what, I follow Justin Bieber on Twitter, I'll follow random people on Twitter. Let them follow me, it doesn't matter, right? But I just want you to know, it is so unsafe for you to be talking to people that you don't know on Skype, for you to have Instagram followers that you don't know in real life, or for you to be Facebook friends with people that you don't know in real life. Let me show you why I'm so worried about this. This is a case from Nebraska, State versus Gallegos, involving a high school girl. She had an Instagram page. Her Instagram was completely open. And she liked to get a lot of likes on her Instagram pictures, like everybody does, right? So she used a lot of hashtags. So it'd be like hashtag single, hashtag, what day is it? TBT, right? Hashtag cutie, right? And so she'd get lots of likes from just general random people. She also had on her Instagram profile, she had her kick username. So it was like kick me and then @ and her name, right? So she gets a direct message on Instagram from a 17-year-old guy, and he says, "You're really cute. I've seen all your pictures on Instagram. You seem really cool. Do you want a kick?" She's like, "Sure." So they talk back and forth on Kick. They actually became really good friends. Her parents were getting divorced, which kind of sucked for her. And his parents had just gotten divorced, so he had like helpful things to tell her about that. She was having some weird friend issues. She had friends that weren't being very nice to her. He had good advice about how to deal with those friends. So, you know, this is more than just random, "what you doing?" You know, it was like actually were friends. They talked enough that he said to her, "You know, I feel like you're more than just a friend. I kind of feel like you're my girlfriend." And she said, "Oh, that's so sweet. I feel like you're my boyfriend." So then he says, "Hey, since we're girlfriend-boyfriend, will you send me some naked pictures?" She's like, "Oh, no, okay, that just got weird. No, do not, no, thank you." And so at first she said no. And he said, "Oh, come on, everybody does it who's girlfriend-boyfriend." "Nope. Don't worry, nobody will ever see him." "Nope. Come on, everybody does it." "Nope. Maybe I won't be your boyfriend anymore if you don't do it." Now, she really liked him. She'd seen all of his Instagram pictures. He was really cute. Eventually, you know, he kept asking and asking, and she thought, you know, nobody will ever know. So she did what he asked. She took a picture of herself that she would not show her grandma, and she sent it to him. The next message she got from him, he said, "Meet me at this and so a place, at thus and so a time. And if you don't show up and do exactly what I say, I'm going to send that picture to everyone in your high school." She's like, "Oh, stink, right? He's not my boyfriend at all. He's a jerk. Dang it." She does not know what to do. She did not want to tell her mom because, you know how moms are, right? She didn't want to tell the police because she didn't want to get in trouble. Eventually, she did exactly the right thing. She'd already closed Kick, so she didn't have the messages, but she had the picture she'd sent. And she showed the guidance counselor, and she's like, "This was so stupid. I knew this was stupid. Here's what happened." And the guidance counselor was like, "Heck no. This guy's not getting away with this." So the guidance counselor called, school called us, we called the police, and the police actually eventually tracked this guy down. And when you get arrested, they arrested him, and when you get arrested, they take your picture. Do you want to see the picture they took of him when they arrested him?
Yes.
Is he 17? No, he's 32. He's already on the creeper list in Iowa, right? Now, why would she think that he was 17 when she looked on his Instagram? He had pictures of somebody else. That's exactly right. Now, you guys were pretty good. You kids are pretty good at picking out fake profiles. Like if I've got blonde hair on Monday and black hair on Tuesday and red hair on Wednesday, you're pretty quick to go, no, not you. What this guy had done, he'd taken some somebody else's Instagram and taken screenshots of it. So we'd taken screenshots of an actual 17-year-old's Instagram and then posted them as if they were his pictures. That's why it looked and felt like he was an actual 17-year-old, because he was using an actual 17-year-old guy's Instagram feed. He's not anywhere close to 17. Now, here's what's interesting to me. You guys knew, when I said, do you want to see his picture, none of you thought he was going to look like Harry Styles, right? You knew he was going to look kind of creepy. And yet you were still surprised that he was this old, yes? Because when I said 17, you got a picture in your head of what a 17-year-old guy looks like. But on the internet, nobody knows you're a dog, right? No matter how much they tell you where they go to school, what grade they're in, what sports they play, unless you know this person in real life, you don't really know who they are. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is actually a text message that I got several years ago. I'm driving down the interstate to Kearney, and I'm actually going to speak at the statewide Digital Citizenship Symposium. And I get this text. Hey, Karen, you look cute in your Facebook pic. Winky. You should find me on Y Messenger so we can get naughty, LOL. My username is PythonDon. Somebody that hasn't talked, put up your hand. What's something I could do or say in response to this? Yes? What? Yeah, I could say, dude, I don't want to respond to you because you could be a bad guy. What's he going to say back to that? No, I'm not. I'm super cool. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Yes? Just what? Delete it? Awesome choice. Yes, sir. Say never? I could say never. And what's he going to say back? Never say never. This will be so much fun. It'll be awesome. Yes? What? Don't respond. Great answer. Anything else? Yeah. Yo, I'm a lawyer. What's he going to say back to that? That's cool. So am I, right? He won't. Sometimes I've had kids say, tell him your husband owns a gun, right? Is that what I should do? What about calling the police? Can I call the police? Yeah, he's weird, it's strange, but I don't think the police are going to help me, right? I think the advice of ignoring him, not responding, is awesome advice. There's one piece that's missing, though. How am I showing you this? Screenshot, that's right. I have kids text me all the time, and they say, I'm getting random text messages from this dude, he won't leave me alone. Or I've been getting phone calls, and the number says unknown, and when I answer, they say stuff I don't like. I think your best bet is to not even respond to those people, but before you delete it, take a screenshot so that if they keep bothering you, you can show somebody, your parents, the police, whoever, that they have been bothering you. And that's what I did. I took a screenshot and ignored this dude. Then I've been showing kids all over Nebraska the screenshot, so he's probably really thrilled with me. Quick question: how did he get my cell phone number? Sorry, didn't mean to blind him. Yeah. Somebody gave it to him. I do not know this dude. I have no idea who knows him. Wouldn't he tell me if somebody gave it to him? Like, Sally gave it to me? Yeah. He's a hacker? How does he know my name goes with my cell phone number, though? He didn't just put together a random string of numbers because he knows my name. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Now, when I give, and at the end I'll give you my cell phone number. I give my cell phone number out to kids. And so when I post my slides on Facebook, I've got my cell phone number on there. I think that's where he got it. But when you set up your Facebook, it asks you for your cell phone number. Should you put that cell phone number in? No, I don't think grown-ups should, and I certainly don't think teenagers and middle schoolers should, because you're going to get more random stuff like this. I think he got my number off Facebook. That's exactly where he got it. So, I told you a whole bunch of what not to do, what does belong on your Facebook profile, your Instagram, whatever. You like that cartoon? Just ask your grandma. What does that mean? The grandma rule show it to your grandma. Don't even take a picture of it. Do you see how that solves all the awkward sexting problems we've been talking about? The grandma rule says, I would not sit down and write grandma a letter. Dear grandma, I'm sorry, I've forgotten headband. I hate Collie's headband. Love Karen. You don't write that to your grandma in a letter, right? That's not the kind of stuff that you write to Collie in a text or about Collie in a text. If I really, really like, what's your name? Tyler. I really like Tyler. Right? That's not the kind of stuff you tell your grandma. And that's not the kind of stuff you put on Twitter or Instagram. It embarrasses me and embarrasses Tyler. The next time you see your grandma, you are not going to say, Grandma, you're old and you smell funny. Right? If you wouldn't say mean things to your grandma, don't be calling each other up on your cell phones and saying mean things to each other on the phone. Do you see how if everybody followed the grandma rule, we wouldn't have these problems? All right, last cartoon. Get it there texting during dinner. I hate it when people do that too. Sometimes it is easier to have an awkward conversation in a text. So, this is my cell phone, my Facebook, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Twitter. I talk to kids using all these technologies, right? I actually use them. I also play Minecraft, but I'm not good enough to play with any of you. But I actually use all this stuff. So if any of you have questions or a question that you don't want to ask in front of everybody or if something happens, you can always shoot me a text or a message on Snapchat or whatnot. But if we're going to be Snapchat friends, I totally will call you out if you do anything inappropriate on your story, right? So just think, do I want, maybe not the grandma rule, maybe the Karen rule, right? Do I want Karen to see what I put on Snapchat? Having said that, anybody have a question that they're brave enough to ask right now? Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Well, why did you not your Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram stuff if you're talking to us about not being careful about what you send out?
I do give all this stuff out at the same time I talk to you about being careful with what I send out because I think kids need somebody to talk to that understands all this stuff. And I think lots of times kids don't have a mom or dad and they're like, Instagram is stupid, I don't get it. So that's why I go ahead and give kids out my information. Yes?
If somebody sends me, texts me a sexy picture,
Uh-huh.
I forward that.
Yes. What?
Someone sends me a picture, a sexy picture, I forward it. Can I do that?
If someone sends you a sexting picture and you forward it, can you get in trouble? Oh gosh, yes. But I'll go you one better. If someone sends you a sexting picture in a text message and you open it, you're in trouble, right? Simply by opening the text message, you have committed a crime. And that's true if you're a 6th grader, 7th grader, or a teacher, right? If the picture is somebody under the age of 19, by opening the text message, you've committed a crime. Now, by sending it on, you've committed a second crime. And so I think it's important for kids to understand, simply having those pictures is a crime. Separate and in addition to sending it on to someone else. So then the question becomes, okay, Karen, not that I would, but let's say, hypothetically, I have something like that on my phone that I shouldn't have. What should I do? I think you should do two things. First off, show the picture to a grown-up that's not a teacher, because the teacher's going to have to tell the police. Show it to a grown-up that's not going to not a teacher. Have that grown-up watch you delete it so that they can tell the police if the police ever come that you didn't want it, you deleted it. That's step one. And then step two, you have to reply to the person who sent you that stuff and say, dude, don't send me these pictures anymore. That's what you have to do. Otherwise, the police can charge you. Yeah. Yes, sir?
How do you know that they sent it?
How do you know that they sent it to you? You mean the picture that we're talking about? Well, you got it in a text or a Snapchat, or you got it somehow. Reply to whatever method you got, however it came to you. Hit reply, and that should take care of it. And then keep a screen show that you didn't want it. Yes, sir? What if it says, what if you get a text that says, hey bro, look at my new kitten, and you open it up and you're like, whoa, that is not what I wanted to see, right? Still, technically, you've committed a crime, okay? So, you have to do exactly the same thing if they had said, hey, here's a picture that your grandma would not like to see, right? You have to show it to an adult, we'll have them watch you delete it, reply to the person and say, don't send me that stuff anymore. And if they keep sending it, you may even have to block them, right? Okay, who's on this end? Oh, you had your hand up for a long time. Yes, ma'am. Exactly right. What if it's on Snapchat and it's just that little box and you click on it and oh my gosh, boom, it's there. You didn't know. A couple of things. Number one, technically it's still a crime, right? Still a crime. You've still possessed child pornography. That's why you should only be Snapchat friends with people you know, right? Because it's not some random stranger. If you're only Snapchat friends with people you know, your chances of getting that stuff are pretty slim. If one of your friends does send you something that they shouldn't have, please don't take a screenshot of it in Snapchat. That's considered like wanting it and keeping it, so don't take a screenshot. But again, I would go to an adult, somebody that won't freak out, tell them about it, and have them help you figure out. Try to do that within 24 hours so you can replay the picture if you need to for them. There is an adult, and we think it's a guy, but there's a creeper in Grand Island, and we think he's from Grand Island, that is sending random Snapchats out to kids that they do not want to see. But it's just kids that accept anybody's Snapchat friend request or that has completely open and you can receive snaps from strangers. I think you should get into your Snapchat and set it to privacy so that you can only get snaps from people that are your friends for that very reason. Because kids are getting stuff that they don't want, and that's kind of weird. Yes? Yep. If they send a photograph of people that are around them, it's not a picture of themselves. Is that what you're saying? I don't care that you're chatting. I don't, but I can't hear her, so. All right, one more time. Oh, if you send a text message that said put the phone down and live your life, get off the phone and listen to the people around you. Yeah, no, I don't think you'd get in trouble for that. No, I've seen messages like that. All right, got time for one more. Who's got the best question of the day? Yes, ma'am. You can send messages or pictures, that's right. And you don't want to send messages or pictures that you wouldn't show your grandma. That's exactly true. Which is an awesome way to end. All right, anybody else that has questions, text me.